There is a recent article from The Economist that so succinctly demonstrates how their implicit bias works and subsequently why it's important to think intersectionally in how you analyze what's going on in the world today, including and perhaps especially the economy, because we know that gender, race, and class and religion and region, I mean, the global north is wealthier than the global south. Men are wealthier than women. White people are wealthier than black people, and so on and so forth. And so it's always interesting when The Economist does these, and I subscribed to them for many years because I love how they do this, but I must tell you, I've never agreed with them. So they have an article in the April 16th edition, 2022, How Abraham Lincoln Financed the Civil War, Bonds and Bullets. The conflict shaped the economy as well as vice versa. I'm not going to read the whole article for you, but I'm just going to demonstrate to you how a lack of intersectional views really limits how we see the world around us. It just blinds us. So they talk about all of the government interventions that the North, the Union, made in order that the war could be financed, that the Union could ultimately triumph. And of course, there were attitudes. It says none of this was possible in the South because, of course, the attitudes and suspicion, deep suspicion of government and indeed the trappings of modernity was essential to the rebellion. Like this was essential to the South's identity. And so they talk about the new currency, the greenback, facilitated commerce, economic growth in the North, because the North was the industrial part. And at no point do they mention race. They mention that government provided free land to Americans willing to move to the country's western fringes. I mean, these were colonies and there was a genocide, and they just skip over all of this. And it's important to this story, of course, because these same attitudes literally divide us today. The red, blue states, as you saw that so many states are purple, urban and rural, because of this deep suspicion over government intervention because of the liberals are going to take over. And what do they always mean? They're literally just talking about gender, race, and class, like those others who are so-called modern. And the fact that they never just hone on, they just mask it so well, that's The Economist. And that's how implicit bias works. You think that this was just a meritocracy looking at this, and yet it was an actual civil war over slavery.